Hi guys, and welcome back to another vlog. So it's really early in the morning, it's just first light, absolutely beautiful picturesque scenery behind the lakes, and we're here on the Secret River. Now it's been nearly 13 months since I last fished here with Keith. It was going to be a regular series, but due to the fact that it's really hard to get down here, it's, you know, I can't fish here all the time. I have to make do when I can come. You know, Keith was well up to Pike again, one last time for him before the end of the season. I'll be out again a few more times, but we wanted to come down here, film episode 2. Hopefully I can find that big old gill. I'll go into a little bit more depth later. I'll talk about the what exactly happened to lead up to making these programs, and hopefully we can find that big old female. So, got the gear out of the car, Keith's getting the bits and pieces together. I've got my 10-foot rods and my gear all made up. Let's head down to the lake and see how we get on. Okay guys, so yeah, we've started fishing already, me and Keith. We've only got one rod in each at the moment. I'm actually going to not talk too loudly because I've got my rods down just in front of me, which I'll give you a look in a moment. I just wanted to get Keith up and running. He was going to fish 2 ledgers, but we got him twisted his arm and made him fish the float. Not made him, but he fancied giving it a go on the float for the first time. It's quite ironic actually, because like I say, we've been here about 45 minutes. Keith set his up, put his bait out. He's in a nice little area where we've had plenty of runs before. Like I say, I'll show you that in a moment, and I'll put mine against some dead reeds. So there's a undercut of dead reeds. As soon as I pull it out, maybe what, 10 minutes, I have my first run. Hit into the fish. The fish, well, played around with it a little bit first. I'll pick the rod up. I'm not quite light on my feet at the moment, so I've got a bit of a dodgy knee, as you know. Fish kind of move with the bait quite erratically into the middle of the river, which I was quite surprised it didn't go into the into the undercut of the bank. Went into the middle of the river, struck into it using braid for the first time. Had the fish on for maybe about 20 seconds. Fish thrashed at the surface. Probably guesstimated between 6 and 8 pound, nothing massive. Would have been nice to have had it on the bank. Feel fairly confident in getting another fish. And that was on float fish lamprey. Just didn't get hold of the bait properly. Either that or it was a gummy old pike, because there wasn't much slash marks in the bait. To be fair, it is actually quite a large piece of lamprey. It's obviously pissing out that blood down the current, down the river. So like I say, me and Keith have just got a rod out each at the moment, literally just in front of us, and we're going to get another rod out in a moment. We're going to set our other rods up and move them a little bit away from the bank, so we're covering all sort of aspects of this area. We're back in that same swim as we fished before. I fancy us to get a couple of fish from here. There's quite a few swirls when we first started setting up this morning. It's really cold, the sun's starting to come over the back of us on the hills at the moment, but it's nice to get our first run. It would have been even better to at least caught it on camera. So yeah, what I'm going to do is get Keith settled with his other rod. Well, he knows what he's doing now, just setting it up as a ledger rod. Mine's going to be a float ledger, and we're going to get another 2 rods out. Probably put 2 big baits on these ones, kind of not forget about them, but let them do their own thing and just concentrate on the float rods we've got in front of us. Like I say, I fancy us to get a couple of fish hopefully, or at least a couple of takes. It's only going to be a short session today, because we've got to be off this particular stretch of the fishery before 4 o'clock, so we're only going to be here for about 6 hours. So let's get these other 2 rods set up, and then I'll show you the areas we're fishing and where we put them. I'll speak to you in a bit. There we go, got another take guys, on the same rod. Proper got it this time. Don't know if you're seeing this. Yeah. Oh, it's a bigger one. I think so. Looks like a double, possibly. Try to steer it away. It's getting mental. Oh, it's just hooked. Yeah, it's just hooked. Thank you, Weller. Good fish, wasn't it? Yeah, it's just hooked. We just trying to think what we can do. So, put that bait back in the swim again, and just had this 8-pounder. Absolutely beautifully marked, as you can see. Let's just take some of that crap off. There we go. So yeah, just touching 8 pound. We'll call it 8 pound. As you can see, absolutely beautifully marked. Caught some nice Keston ones, but you can tell from this pike it's absolutely beautiful. So it's got plenty of leeches on it. This one took the lamprey, like I say, put it back in that same swim, right under the weed. Keith's just moved these against some weed, so hopefully I'll get something. Come in, Keith. Come round the back, mate. So what do you think of that, Keith? Showed you can catch. Come down. So, what do you think of that? Just under the rod tip. I was saying to you, on these small waters, on these small rivers, you can catch these pike right under the rod tip. Sometimes you don't even need 2 rods. So, you enjoy that, Weller?
Stunning.
Fantastic. Cheers, mate.
Well done, man. Nice to get one so early.
So yes, it's been another hour or so since I had that last fish, that 8-pounder. So I've had a little run, and I've had a fish. It could even be the same fish. I said it was between 6 and 8 pound the first fish that took, so it's possibly that could have been the same fish. But this particular stretch of river, it's got a lot of fish in it. You can see it was a very nice clean fish compared to my counterparts up on the ponds at the moment. You know, it's kind of hit and miss there in terms of patterning, but what I find in this particular river is the patterns are very silvery. You know, the fish are very clean, very sleek. Not many problems in terms of sores and stuff like that on them, although I have caught them with sores in it. But they're very clean, sleek fish. Very small heads compared to body shape. But the one I lost, which I'm just going to talk very briefly now, was big. It was a big old girl, and she had a very nice yellow tinge to it. So yeah, a couple of seasons back, 3 seasons back, when I very first started fishing this particular river, I brought a friend of mine up here, not Keith, a friend of mine, and I had a 16-pound 2, which was a lovely fish, and I was over the moon with. Midday, about 1 o'clock, about 10 past 1, on the other rod, on the ledge rod behind me, just under a tree root, which is just a little long from where I'm fishing, probably about 25 metres to my left. I had the big one take. It took me a couple of minutes to get it off bottom, and yeah, it's through the hooks. Saw the fish through the hooks. Very long fish. Still haunts me a little bit, hence the reason I call this video Hunt or Quest for the Mosasaur. Mosasauring being the fact that it's just a kind of exaggeration on the pike being big, looking like a mosasaur. Some people call them crocodiles or alligators and snappers and all that kind of thing. Yeah, I just sort of added drama by calling it a mosasaur, something slightly different. But yeah, I'm actually fishing in the same swim, but I've swapped over with Keith, because I'd like Keith to get a fish at least. He's just headed back to the car. He's a bit tired, he's been up all night, he's quite busy with his kid's birthday and things like that, so he's headed back to the car because his feet are absolutely frozen, where he's not even concentrating on the fishing so much. So he's gone back to the car just to warm his feet up a little bit. Trust me, it's about minus 2, minus 3 at the moment. Just checked on the phone. The sun's starting to swing round, and we're hoping it's going to warm the swim up a little bit. We've only got 1 rod out each at the moment, believe it or not. So I'm just showing you my swim now. I'm just going to move you round to where I caught the fish. Zoom in. Where's Keith's float? It's just there. Oh, it's behind that. It's behind that branch. Let me just move the. There we go. There it is. So yeah, that's where Keith's fishing. Let's zoom back out. So that's where I had the fish, but I've just swapped swims with Keith just to hopefully try and catch him a fish. You've seen I've had 2 takes there and landed 1, so maybe that's kind of, you know, kind of spurred him on to try and catch you know, want to get his own fish. Really, it'd be nice for us both to have at least a fish each walk away today with at least a fish each. But yeah, he's fishing now where I caught my fish. That's how loving of a friend I am. And I'm fishing where he put his bait. But yeah, let's move back round to where I'm fishing. The thing with the swim that I'm fishing just here, let's just zoom back in again. Trying to catch where that float is. There it is, just behind a piece of grass. Just there is that the oh, there we go. So yeah, the float's just sneaking behind that piece of grass. Oh, there's a lovely little robin down there. Absolutely beautiful. Loads of them about. I've been giving them bits of bread from my sandwich, but they won't sit still long enough for me to proper photograph them. But yeah, back out on the rod. So yeah, I'm fishing. It's basically just to my right hand side. You probably saw on the other video, there's a great big basin out in front of me, like a big sort of, I don't know, it's like a big main basin off the main river. But just out in front of me is an island in the middle of that basin, which greets the river, which is, let's just zoom back, which is there. So it's like a little island in the main of the river. And just out in front of me, I've got it just on the tip point. And it's just on the tip point in between where that slack water is. It's a really good spot. Oh, he's eating the it's that little robin down there. Where is he? There he is. He's actually eating the leeches off the pike, off the unhooking mat. What's he doing? Yeah, he's eating the leeches. He's eating the leeches off the unhooking mat that was on the pike. So that's not a bad thing, I suppose. But yeah, still feels good for a bite. Still thinking maybe I might put the second rod out. Like I say, it's called Quest for the Mosasaur, so I am here for a 20-pounder. But hopefully that big old girl. So all the while I've got my bait out in the water, I have the chance of catching one. But I might set the second rod up and just stick it in the swim where I had the big fish before. So I'm just going to put the camera away for the moment. Oh, little fish jumped over the back of that rod. I'm just going to put the camera away for the moment, and I'm either going to come back with another fish, or if there's another update that I can give you. Speak to you soon, guys. Right guys, so been a little bit lucky again. Keith, like I said, went back to the car to warm himself up a little bit. He's just come back, and I'll put a second rod out while he was gone. Being a bit cheeky, like I said, I was going to put a second rod out on the other side of the river with a yellow herring, quite a large one. And after about 5-7 minutes, it's gone. And I've been, shall we say, christened, blessed with my first double of the season. Absolutely made up with this one. This one was it 12 pounds 8, I think it was. So 12.5 pound this one. There we go. Absolutely beautiful. Big old fish there. Again, pristine condition. 12 pound 8. I'm going to get this one back. Keeps rattling off some nice pictures for me. My knee is shot to pieces, it's caning me, but yeah, really pleased with that one. Oh, it's a bit heavy on the old hands. So I'm going to get this one back now, and hopefully we'll try and get the 20. So, first double of the season I've made up. Let's stick it back, shall we? Right folks, so yeah, another little update. Since having that 12.5 pounder, I've not had no more fish. It's only been half an hour since having that fish. Keith and me put that second rod out, and I had the fish on the second rod. Keith's now moved his bait from the basin to the main river, so he's fishing the main river. So all 4 rods now are in the main river. We're not in the basin. It's quite funny because after 10 minutes of him having it in the basin, he had a couple of little twinges, a couple of little knots. Now we don't know if it was a robin on the rod. He's using Delkim, so they're quite sensitive. So I don't know if it's those or it was a fish, maybe nudging it, knocking it, pike. I don't know, you're having a little feel about it. It could be a chub. You don't know, do you? On this particular river, there's chub and stuff like that in here as well. So yeah, he's on the main river. He's in a lovely little spot near a tree, close to the bank. He's ledgering that one, so he's on the alarms. So it's the furthest one away, but it's still only what, 20-25 foot away. So it's still, you know, it won't take long to get over there and get the rod. As soon as he runs over there and picks it up, he'll strike it straight away. So he would have given the fish enough time to get hold of it. So yeah, we're fishing herring on our second rods. The first rods are both still out in the same spot, and we've not had anything on there, so they're on floats just in front of us. So yeah, that's kind of the update at the moment. The time is, so those fish have come fairly early. It's only 10 o'clock, so we've still got another, what, so that's 2, 4, 5 hours left of fishing. The sun's come over, so it's really, really nice. It's throwing a bit of light into the water, so maybe that's helping to show the bait up on the bottom, especially using the herrings and stuff like that. So yeah, just looks good for another bite, or at least another couple of fish, maybe, hopefully. Be lovely if Keith can put one on the bank now. So now I've had the double. I'm happy with the double. It was a lovely fish. Just need to get that second double. That'd be good. Now I've equalled last season's. Not brilliant. I used to get a lot more doubles back in the day. At least over 20 a season, but I'm struggling over recent years because I don't seem to get out to many places like I used to. But yeah, what we're fishing for now is definitely a 20. So just going to kick back now. The rods are out. Me and Keith are just going to have a little chat, kick back, maybe even have a snooze. Obviously a responsible snooze. Got the rods on bait runners and alarms and things like that, so you know, we can air it. And hopefully we can put another fish on the bank. So I'll check back with you in a little while, guys. You're right, folks. Sorry, I'm looking a little bit ridiculous right now. Yeah, let's have a look at the time. It's been a couple of hours since the last fish. It's 10 to 1. Like I say, it's been a couple of hours since the last fish, and I would like to say, well, not I wouldn't like to say, but we've not had no action. Keith's just had a little tap on his ledger rod down by the tree, further along to our left hand side. Yeah, it was kind of a nice little, well, I don't know how the run developed. I could hear it. It was no, just went on and on sort of thing. Keith's run over there, investigated. I think the fish must have dropped it. He's pulled the rod in, and there's teeth marks on it, so I guess in this time of the day it's probably a little jack or something like that, a little 2-3 pounder. It's quite a large bait that Keith's put on. It's one of those yellow herrings, just with the head nicked off. So yeah, unfortunately he's just had a drop run then. I've just recast my near side rod, float rod, to the far bank, so now I've got 2 rods on the far bank. Keith's got 2 rods on the near side, so we're covering all bases at the moment. It's absolutely freezing, absolutely freezing. You kind of got to be out here, you got to be in it to win it, I suppose. You know, you got to be out here, you got to be fishing. You know, I'm in a world of hurt at the moment with my knee. My feet are now finally gone to sleep. Keith's gone back to the car a couple of times to warm his feet up, because I feel that if you're not enjoying your fishing, if you know you can't cope with certain situations like being cold in your feet or your face or your head or something like that, you know, you've got to try and sort of be comfortable on the bank. There's nothing I can do about my knee, so you know, it's kind of a sort of put up a little bit and shut up. I know it's going to take me probably an hour to walk back to the car, which is literally 30, 40, 50 yards behind us. But yeah, so got a couple of more hours fishing. It's kind of a last gasp, hopefully a fish each. It'd be nice if, like I say, Keith gets one. So what I'll do is I'll switch off now. I'm not going to show you any of the rigs or anything because it's kind of similar to the rigs you see me use in other videos. You know, I've got a float ledger on. I'm fishing one on float ledger, one just off bottom. Keith's just had another tap on his alarm. I could hear it. Might be a bit of debris coming down the river, but he's in slack water, so anything that touches it should be an investigating fish. I mean, it could even be a chub, you never know, nose in the bait. But with slash marks, it's got to be a little jack. So yeah, he's fishing one on the float, just on bottom, and he's fishing the other one on alarm. It doesn't really matter as to how you fish it. When it's on bottom, it's on bottom. So I like watching the float because it's quite visual, and I think it gives a better presentation, gives you an indication of the bite developing and what type of bite it is. But sometimes you just want to sort of have a little nod, or you know, you want to fish your bait just slightly on the borderline of, how can I pull it, out of your swim, just on the borderline of how far you should have the rod. Sorry, I'm just watching my float and it's been quite erratic at the moment. So yeah, certainly by the time Keith would get there in what, 20 metres, less than that, 15 metres, it's time to pick the rod up and strike it. So you know, it's not out of reach of the boundaries of what, that's the what I'm looking for, the boundaries of what you should be fishing. Anyway, so I'm going to turn the camera off for now. It'll either be another fish, or it'll just be the conclusion to the video. So yeah, quest for the Mosasaur still continues, but I've had a double, so I can't complain. And like I say, it'd be just nice for Keith to pick a fish up now, just to complete the video. Knowing he's lucky, it'll probably end up being a real good one, but he's done quite well with the old fish, the old pike. But just gonna chill out now and hopefully we can pick something up. Right guys, just while I'm waiting for a run, I just thought I'd show you some of the baits that I've been using today. I like to use a different choice of baits, but I brought 4 mainly with me. The first one, starting from the top, is herring. I think herring is kind of making a bit of a comeback at the moment. Kind of gets neglected a little bit. There we go, it's the herring. Still frozen. On a cold day like today, didn't expect anything less. But herring, it kind of gets overlooked a little bit until recently. I was starting to notice a lot more people starting to use it. Absolutely fantastic bait, very oily, very oily, nice soft skin. The hook's staying fairly well, you know, as long as you can get a nice towel root, or if you put the treble into the head or something like that, you can kind of get a good perch on it, and you can get quite a good couple of casts out of it. I'm also using a yellow version today, and that's kind of what I've had me 12.5 pounder on. So yeah, I do rate herring. I know some of the old lads who fish a pike, they tend to rate herring quite well as well. The one below it, so next one down, is mackerel. These are just Joey mackerel. I've got that on one of my rods at the moment. Mackerel, you know, it doesn't need no introduction. Mackerel, absolutely fantastic bait. You know, on the kind of small rivers that we're fishing today, you know, herring and mackerel with loads of scent going down into the river, drawing the fish upstream, absolutely fantastic. Some people say that the markings of a mackerel imitate those of a jack pike. The bars on its side, and you know, on the side of its flanks and that. It's very salty, very oily, a bit like herring. Absolutely fantastic. It's got a smell of its own, mackerel. Not many pikers who have been fishing over the years tend to leave home without a mackerel. It's a fantastic bait, and it's proven to be a great fish catcher time after time. Next one down is lamprey. Lamprey, yeah, I mean, I first came across this in the late 80s when I first started using lamprey. I was using the all section as well. Very bloody bait. Lamprey's an unusual bait. At one point it was hard to get hold of, but it seems that most good bait companies now, like Online Baits UK, stock it quite readily. Absolutely fantastic bait. I like to fish it mainly on bottom, although today I did catch an 8 pounder with it just off bottom, just touching bottom. So, you know, they say that one of the pike's favourite bait is an eel in general, just eels in general. So I'm assuming that having a lamprey that resembles an eel, I mean, they do run up rivers as well, I believe, resembles an eel with all that oozing blood and that, you know, gives off a nice aroma and draws fish in for all different types around the area, you know. Never had nothing massive on lamprey, but I've had plenty of fish on it, and I've had some good zander on it as well. And the other one down there, which is the last bait that I've got with me today, is bream. Now, I tend to use roach and rudd more than I use bream. or even perch as bait for pike. But bream, nice deep bodied bait, so you can get it. I find it's a very good float fish bait, but they can be quite heavy. You can get them in various different sizes from your tackle wholesalers and bait suppliers. I've got some real big extra large ones that I'm looking to use towards the end of the season. They got a aroma of their own, but you can inject them. You know, you can put your own oils into them. You know, so you can put, say, kipper oils in, or salmon oils, or whatever oils you want, really. And all these baits you can dye as well. But I get all my baits, other than the fishmongers, I tend to get my baits from online PredatorBitesUK. Sea Freeze is who pretty much freeze them and package them and stuff like that, but Online Bait UK is the supplier, you know, the ones that ship them out. Absolutely fantastic company. You know, it's they do sea baits as well for sea fishing, ragworm, lugworm, all that kind of thing, crabs of some sort, and they also do a range of oils which I hope to use at some point in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, I do recommend them highly. I don't like to go to any other bait wholesaler now. Very reasonable, very good packaging. You buy in bulk, you know, you can save on I think it's over 60 quid, don't quote me, but I think it's over 60 quid. You get free PMP, so check them out. I'll leave the link in the description below, and I'll also link on the video of where I talk about some other dead baits as well in an early video. But yeah, get on them. Fantastic baits and well worth a look into. So last gas saloon, just over a little an hour left before we have to pack up. Just recast my rods. I brought the one that was on the far bank closer in again. I'm fishing it just under the rod tip. I've changed that from mackerel, which I didn't change it, I lost it on the bottom, and I've now put a fairly large lamprey on that I had the first fish on, so I've got that back out again, and that's under the rod tip. It's in between the two, it's in between the island and the point of this bank, so any patrolling fish that move through there hopefully will get something. The other rod is on the far side of the bank in the next swim, so it's well away from me, but I can see the float. It's probably about 12 foot, 13 foot away from me, so it wouldn't take me long to get around now. Keith is probably 15, 16, 17 foot away on his ledger rod. He's in the swim next to that, so it goes me, Keith, so to speak. Keith's other rod is right under the rod tip. I'm really surprised nothing's actually happened on that one. Yeah, so he's just fished out under his rod tip. But I've had two nice fish today. They are really nice fish from this stretch of river. Slightly, well, not slightly differently. The look of them are completely differently to what I catch at the ponds. I'm hoping to get back on there sometime next couple of weeks, but yeah, I'm having a few personal problems with health issues and stuff like that, so I don't know when that'll be. Today has been absolutely bitterly cold. Keith suffered and I've suffered. His feet, he's actually gone for the third time back to his car to warm himself up. His feet, he needs to look at maybe getting some new footwear for fishing in temperatures like today. You know, I've got a bit more blubber on me, a bit like an elephant seal, so I can withstand a bit of the cold temperatures. Although I'm a fair weather fisherman, as my friends call me, I actually prefer to be in slightly warmer conditions. But you know, if you want to go pike fishing, the pike feed in these type of conditions. You know, it's one of the few fish that, you know, other than chub and grayling and things like that, that are willing to feed in the cooler temperatures, and you'll probably catch them at their slightly better weight as well. But yeah, still no fish to report as of yet. Like I say, there's only an hour left. I feel hopeful for at least another bite from one of us. If we convert it into a fish is another matter, but we'll have to wait and see. And next time I speak to you, it'll either be a conclusion or it will be a fish on the bank. Hopefully it'll be a fish on the bank before the conclusion. So yeah, the rods are out. I'm just going to kick back for the next hour, pack down really slowly. I've really enjoyed the trip so far. Like I say, it'd be really nice if we can both manage to have a pike at the same time in the same video. It'd be really good in the same trip. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. So stick with us, and it'll either, like I say, be the end conclusion or it'll be a fish. So I'll speak to you in a little while, guys. Right, guys, so I guess that's a conclusion. No more fish. We're going to slowly pack up now. Keith's just gone round to swim just to have a little look. I mean, I say we're going to slowly pack up. We'll probably have the rods out for another 10 more minutes and then we're going to pack up. So I thought I'd do the conclusion now. Keep it short and sweet. Quest for the Mosasaur still continues. Can't complain, I've had a double. And like I say, it would have been really lovely for Keith to have had a fish, and you know, I think that would have capped the day off. But yeah, we're just talking about just how lovely this stretch of river is, and how we've not seen another angler, and you know, apart from a farmer walking through the field and one of the bailiffs doing his thing, you know, it's kind of been left alone. Really, it's nice, it's out of the way. Yeah, it's quite a small river. You know, you can almost jump across it really in the summer. It's almost like a stream. It's really quite. It reminds me of Bedford, the Great Ooze at Bedford. You know, where I was catching all those big perch once upon a time. I think there still are in some places. I think there's still some good 3-4 pounders there. So yeah, it kind of reminds me of the look of that. But anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Not too much action, but you've seen a couple of fish being bagged, so can't complain about that. And I've had my double, so I'm happy with that. Like I said, I don't know when, me and Keith was talking, I don't know when we'll next be up here. Maybe before the end of the season. If not, then it'll probably be next season. Once I've got my car and my wheels, like I keep saying, then I can drive up here to my heart's content. But until that day, unfortunately I have to rely on others to bring me. I love this river. I'd love to come up here and do a bit of roving, definitely roving. I'd definitely also like to do a little bit of lure fishing up here maybe. But even without the pike, a bit of chub or perch fishing, I think that'd be ideal. But there's some really good pike in this river, so yeah, I'm content with pike fishing it. But like I say, the quest of the Mosasaur continues, and it's that big old girl that I'm after. But a 20 would go down quite well as well. So sorry about the sun, trying to block it out. So for this episode, just want to say thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and comment, and thanks for all the support, and I'll see you on the bank sometimes. Tight lines.